Hi everyone, today I'm going to take you through the case study of Hero Honda. This case focuses on a joint venture between Honda Motor Company of Japan and the Hero Group, a conglomerate of Indian companies held by the Munjal family. Hero is the largest manufacturer of bicycles in the world and at that time had already dabbled in the motorized two-wheeler market with its mopeds. Honda Motor Company entered into a 50-50 alliance with Hero to manufacture motorcycle for the Indian market. It assumed product design and technology transfer responsibilities while Hero was in charge of manufacturing and marketing. The venture performed very well until the contract renewal period when Hero felt that Honda Motor Company was slowing down its technology transfer. The agreement was extended for another 10 years after negotiations. Just as the relationship appeared to get better, Honda Motor Company announced the setting up of a subsidiary in India to manufacture scooters. It said that the subsidiary would enter the motorcycle market in 2004. This grew from a split between Honda and its Indian partner in a venture that was manufacturing scooters. Having exited the venture, Honda Motor Company wanted to go it alone. This caused serious concern for Hero, since Honda Motor Company's entry into the motorcycle market would threaten its own survival. Now, before moving to this case study, I would request you to subscribe 5 Minutes Learning channel in YouTube in order to get my recent video updates. Also, this video is enabled with English subtitles for your better understanding. Now let's move to the case study. The spectacular track record of the Hero company was being threatened by the predatory moves made by its Japanese partner, Honda Motor Company. The first dark clouds appeared on the horizon in August 1999. Honda Motor Company, joint ventured partner, announced that it would be setting up a 100% subsidiary, Honda Motorcycle and Scooter India, to initially make scooters and later motorcycles as well. Hero Honda Motors stock plummeted by 30% on the day of this announcement. It was apparent that the investors were no longer optimistic about the Hero company's ability to continue its sterling performance record, especially in the face of competition from Honda. Given the impending liberalization of India's market, Honda Motor Company had come looking for suitors. Initial plans called for entry both into the two-wheelers market and the electric generator market in India. Honda Motor Company identified a short list of Indian companies that it felt would make good partners. Topping the list in the two-wheeler category was Bajaj Auto, a company that traced its reputation to the storied history of Piaggio of Italy and the chic yet egalitarian brand of transportation it offered through its series of Vespas. When the first choice did not work out for the Honda Motor Company, it moved on to its second choice, the Ferrodia Group, an automotive product conglomerate based in the prosperous western Indian state of Maharashtra, Kinetic Engineering Limited. The group's flagship company manufactured the first moped in India, hugely popular in the late 70s and the early 80s. Kinetic Engineering Limited had a 44% share of the Indian moped market and about 15% of the entire two-wheeler market in India. It seemed to hold much promise at that time and thus attracted the attention of Honda Motor Company. KEL and HMC entered into a 50-50 joint venture, Kinetic Honda Motors Limited, with the express objective of launching the line of scooters in India. It was widely reported that KEL was offered a choice between scooters and motorcycle, and they chose scooters based on a prevailing trend that favored scooters. Honda was already close to signing on another partner for its another venture in power product, and hence its bid for a motorcycle joint venture was all that was left in play. Honda Motor Company came to the Hero Group as the last choice for its motorcycle venture. The market for motorcycle was not booming in any sense of the term in the early 80s. Many Indian consumers still believed that motorcycles were more accident prone and less safe for Indian roads. The market had been largely carved among three Indian firms with various levels of old imported technology. It was against this backdrop that the Hero Group sought to throw its hat into the ring as a means of consolidating its position in the two-wheeler market. The negotiations between Honda Motor Company and the Hero Group had by all accounts gone quite smoothly. Although there had been some lingering resentment that Honda Motor Company had come to Hero as a last resort, Mr. Brijmohan Lal Munjal had tried to maintain the enthusiasm among the members of the Munjal family, emphasizing the benefits of the alliance they were about to enter. The negotiations culminated in an agreement that was signed in the year June 1984, creating a joint venture firm called Hero Honda Motors Limited. Honda agreed to provide technical know-how to Hero Honda and assist in setting up manufacturing facilities. This included providing the design specifications and responsibility of future R&D efforts relating to the product lines that the company would offer. For these services, Hero Honda Motors agreed to pay Honda a lump sum fee of $5 lakh and a 4% royalty on the net ex-factory sale price of the product. Both partners held 26% of the equity, with another 26 sold to the public and the rest held by the financial institutions. Hero Honda Motors became a public company listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange. A 13-member board was formed to oversee the governance of the company. Honda had four key appointees, including the joint managing director, a particularly powerful position in Indian companies. The Hero Group was represented by four family members and appointed the chairman of the company. Honda brought in its staff of technical experts to run the engineering and quality support functions. Hero brought in local talent to manage all other functions, including marketing, finance, and HR. A seven-member top management team drawn almost exclusively from local ranks took charge of the daily operations of the venture. Both partners agreed to review the terms and relevance of the agreement in 1994 when the current joint venture arrangement would lapse. Time was short, and it was clear that Hero Honda Motors would have to act very quickly to build a foothold in the motorcycle business. As 1994 rolled around, the sentiments among the Munjal family were mixed, but largely negative. Some felt that while Hero had plowed a lot into making Hero Honda Motors a success, Honda Motor Company had not contributed. There was a lack of new product innovation and much uncertainty surrounding the negotiations at that time. Even routine design changes were taking too long, and Honda Motor Company's R&D engineers did not appear cooperative at all. The impending negotiations paralyzed Hero Honda Motors, and it had to sit on the sidelines while the competitors like Bajaj had introduced a new four-stroke engine for its motorcycle line, and Bajaj surpassed the Hero Honda Motors, which had carefully nurtured. It was 1995 by the time the joint venture agreement was renegotiated and extended until 2004. Hero Honda Motors was able to negotiate far more attractive terms from Honda Motor Company with respect to royalties. They were able to persuade Honda Motor Company to accept a paltry Rs 200 per vehicle in 1995. Licenses to manufacture future models were dealt with a case-to-case basis using a mix of lump sum payment and royalties. By 1999, the proportion of royalty payment to sales revenue had declined considerably from a high of 4% to about 0.5%. Honda displayed new willingness to share its R&D and product suites in a more timely fashion. Subsequent to the 1995 contract renewal, Honda licensed Hero Honda Motors to manufacture, with the emergence of significant competition from similarly positioned offerings from Bajaj and TVS Suzuki. Hero Honda had become more aggressive in terms of its marketing with new product launches and market segmentation. The company had announced new product launches every 2 years. To continue this effort, this phenomenal rate of new product introduction was of course solely dependent on Hero Honda Motor Company's and Honda Motor Company's continuing its R&D support. Since Hero Honda Motor had not explored setting up R&D facilities in India. Hero Honda Motor had also undertaken significant expansion of its distribution network. Street, a model that was based on Honda's recent global hit called the Dream, which had sold over 25 million worldwide. In addition to the reduced royalties and fast-track transfer of technology, Honda Motor Company agreed to increase the extent of components and sub-assemblies purchased from Hero's supplier network. Competition began to intensify in the late 90s as many of the foreign joint ventures in the Indian motorcycle industry reached maturity. Players such as Kawasaki and Yamaha were helping their local companies mount a credible assault on the Hero Honda. Hero Honda Motors' partner, Honda Motor Company, was forced to dissolve Kinetic Honda Limited, the venture which was set up with Kinetic Engineering to manufacture scooters. This left a void in Honda Motor Company's product suite in India, and it was poised to enter the scooter market on its own. Both of these developments were cause for significant alarm. In addition to the domestic competition, another competitive threat took shape in the form of cheap Chinese imports. When import restrictions were lifted in India in the year 2001, a relatively unknown company named Monto Motors in Rajasthan was the first to import semi-knockdown kits from one of the top motorcycle manufacturers in China. A 72cc motorbike from China would cost the customer rupees 27,000 on road. A 125cc would cost rupees 33,000 and a 250cc motorbike would cost rupees 36,000. The Indian mopeds seemed frightfully expensive in comparison. In the early 2002, a moped cost around rupees 22,000, a 100cc motorbike cost around rupees 45,000, and a 125cc motorcycle would cost around rupees 50,000. The domestic two-wheeler industry was bound to feel the pinch, especially in the mid and low price segment of the motorcycle, scooter, and moped segments. Honda Motor Company, having extricated itself from the Kinetic Honda Limited venture, announced plans to set up a new company, Honda Motor Scooters India Limited, for the sole purpose of manufacturing scooters for the Indian market. At that time, it also announced that it intended to enter the motorcycle market in the year 2004. Ominously, the very year when the Hero Honda Motor joint venture agreement would come up for its next revalidation. This announcement shocked the top brass at Hero Group. Mr. Munjal put on a brave face and announced that Honda had made its plan publicly only after Hero signed off its plans. This led to further speculation as to why Mr. Munjal would give his blessing to a venture that would place the destiny of Hero Honda Motors in peril. Honda Motor Scooters India was indeed a troubling development for the Munjal family and its investors. However, Mr. Munjal was looking for the silver lining in what was apparently a huge storm cloud brewing. He announced that Hero Honda Motors had negotiated three key concessions from Honda. First, Honda agreed to delay entry into the motorcycle segment until 2004. It also agreed to form a four-person committee with two members from Hero Honda Motors to examine any new motorcycle that it would release post 2004. Lastly, it offered an opportunity to Hero Honda Motors to share in the equity as a minority holder in Honda Motorscooters India. These assurances were followed by a visit by Mr. Yoshino, the CEO of Honda from Japan, for the launch of Honda's first scooter in India. At the launch ceremony, he addressed the simmering problems that were perceived by Hero Honda Motors and its investors. He observed by 2003, the two companies will together be selling 25% of the world's projected 7 million market for two-wheelers. The president and CEO of Honda Motorscooters India, Mr. Takiguchi, painted a similar scenario in his interview with a leading news magazine. He said the discussion in 2004 will not be on whether to continue with the joint venture. We will sit and discuss about the products which both the companies Hero Honda and Honda Motors should build on. However, in the same breath, he also observed our strategy will be to offer motorcycles which keep up with the overall market trend in the post-2004 scenario. It was anybody's guess what that statement truly meant. Honda was already bolstering its dealership network and had plans to set up over 100 dealerships by the end of 2002. It was also spending rupees 1 billion to set up a manufacturing plant that would double Honda Motors' existing capacity. Given the rate of growth of scooters that was in the 4% range, it was difficult to imagine how Honda would be able to use the capacity effectively without stepping onto Hero Honda Motors' turf. Mr. Munjal seemed to be reassured about the situation. However, after Mr. Yoshino's visit, he proclaimed his visit has made a lot of difference to the outlook at Hero Honda. Thank you everyone for watching this video. See you soon with another interesting case studies. For more such case studies, please visit 5 Minutes Learning channel in YouTube and subscribe to 5 Minutes Learning channel.